Let's fast forward to 2011. Brand new car for Audi, a different engine, a whole new ball game.
It's a different car, complete from the nose to the rear wing. There's nothing that's the same. The pedals are different because it's a right-hand drive. There's no carryover. All the detail on the steering wheel, everything has changed. Principally because of the regulations. There is a big push by the ACO, the organisers of Le Mans, to push efficiency. And also on the other side of it, to bring speeds down a little bit to try to ensure safety as well. And so we've got a much smaller capacity engine we're allowed, where I've got less air we can get into the engine, less turbo boosts and various other things. So we've gone with a 3.7 litre diesel engine instead of a 5.5 litre V10. It's now a V6. It's a closed car, which is the biggest thing because it's the first closed car from Audi since '99. It's the first ever right-hand drive car. So I'm sure I'll be able to get into it quite well, coming from this country, but I'm not sure about Tom and Dindo coming from Europe. And, you know, we've had the first test. I drove it I actually gave it its first run back in November, and we've had a couple of tests since then, and so far everything's according to the book. It's reacting to what a driver wants it to react. It does everything you want it to do, and we're starting our testing program in earnest very, very soon.
It's going to be the same as the Peugeot with a roof, and they've got...
Hopefully it's going to be faster than the Peugeot.
Yeah. Very physically similar. They've got a few years head start on running a closed cockpit prototype. Has Audi been able to glean anything from how Peugeot's gone racing?
You know, we do. We watch what they do. They watch what... we don't get the information from them. They don't come down and say, here's all our data. But, you know, we've got quite sophisticated equipment to be able to analyse us and also have a bit of a sniff of what the opposition's doing. And it's not just Peugeot, it's also Aston, because Aston's gone in the other direction. They've gone with an open-top car, but with the petrol engine. So I think that's, you know, until we get to the first race, it's difficult to make too many predictions. But what we have seen is that straight-line speed with the closed car, with that slippery bodywork, is definitely better. And with the open-top car that we've been running in the past, we had a lot of advantages, you know, driver changes and also, I would say, ease of working, ease of racing, because, you know, you had a much better vision perspective, especially when it was in the night, especially when it was raining or you got oil on our visor. We just pull off a tear off, they've got it on the windscreen until they come to the next stop. So, you know, there was definitely advantages and disadvantages, but now the advantages of the closed car has definitely taken over from the open car for us in the way that we run.
Is it physically more difficult or easier than an open top car?
I don't actually think there's any difference in that, because the big thing with a closed car is the heat, because, you know, we're not exactly sitting in a beautiful air-conditioned office. You know, it is a quite physical environment. You know, we're pulling 4G coming through the corners. We've got quite a bit of steering force, and we're having to work very hard because there's no respite with the fact that the opposition are doing exactly the same. With the open and closed, the open car, you get a bit maybe fresher air around and about you, but in the closed car now, you're not allowed to have the driver cockpit area more than a certain number of degrees hotter than outside air ambient. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think the pace of the race is the biggest physical factor, and that's what causes you just to have to be totally 100% fit and be able to push for the whole time you're in the car, whether it's an hour and 30 minutes at Paul Ricard or whether it's 3.5 hours in a stint at Le Mans.
I'm sure it's going to be very exciting. I've got to ask you a little bit about Scottish motor racing. You've been flying the flag for Scotland for many years. We've had the likes of Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, David Coulthard. Just a few pointers on the state of Scottish racing. Well,
hopefully, very soon, there's going to be another one in Formula One. Paul di Resta is knocking on the door and has been for a while. He dominated. Well, he dominated the end of the DTM season and won it in fantastic style in China. And I think there's 5 million of us hope that he's going to be in Formula One. There's probably a few million Italians hope it's going to be Luizzi that's in that car. But I think Paul deserves his chance without question. We've had a tremendous history north of the border. The UK's had a tremendous history as well of racing drivers in Formula One, and that's continuing. There's a lot of karting stars along at receiving their trophies yesterday. There's a young kid called Rory Pringle, just as a pure example of another name of somebody that's got talent coming through. But I'm involved, as Dario and David and everybody is, in trying to help a little bit to ensure that that continues, as well as the fact that the grid numbers at Knockhill, the marshals and everybody else, that the local club racing is doing very well. And, you know, pleased to say that, I have to say from a club point of view, you know, the grids are totally full. It's producing fantastic results in that respect, and it's very, very healthy up there. With regard to, you know, on the international stage, I don't think there's many countries can say they've got drivers at the top ranks of pretty much every category, whether it's Le Mans, whether it's Dario winning the Indy 500, whether it's Marino Franchitti winning the American Le Mans Series title, whether it's David just coming out of F1 and, well, now on the camera in F1, or Paul, you know, making his way into it. So in that side of things, it is actually looking very good for us, but we've got to work hard to ensure it continues.
We certainly wish Paul Di Resta all the best in his quest to get to F1. And
yeah, I know a name like Di Resta, he doesn't sound very Scottish, but I can tell you he's got a pretty Scottish accent. He definitely is.
And a very proud one. Have a great season, Alan. Always good to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Allan McNish.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.